Brazil, officially the Federative Republic of Brazil, Portuguese República Federativa do Brasil. About this sound listen help info 12, is the largest country in both South America and Latin America. As the world's fifth largest country by area and sixth by population, it is the largest country to have Portuguese as an official language and the only one in the Americas. 1314 bounded by the Atlantic Ocean on the east, Brazil has a coastline of 7,491 kilometers 4,655 miles 15. It borders all other South American countries except Ecuador and Chile and covers 47.3% of the continent's land area. 16. Its Amazon River basin includes a vast tropical forest, home to diverse wildlife, a variety of ecological systems, and extensive natural resources spanning numerous protected habitats. 15. This unique environmental heritage makes Brazil one of 17 megadiverse countries, and is the subject of significant global interest and debate regarding deforestation and environmental protection. Brazil was inhabited by numerous tribal nations prior to the landing in 1500 of explorer Pedro Álvares Cabral, who claimed the area for the Portuguese Empire. Brazil remained a Portuguese colony until 1808. When the capital of the empire was transferred from Lisbon to Rio de Janeiro. In 1815, the colony was elevated to the rank of kingdom upon the formation of the United Kingdom of Portugal, Brazil and the Algarves. Independence was achieved in 1822 with the creation of the Empire of Brazil, a unitary state governed under a constitutional monarchy and a parliamentary system. The ratification of the first constitution in 1824 led to the formation of a bicameral legislature, now called the National Congress. The country became a presidential republic in 1889 following a military coup d'état. An authoritarian military junta came to power in 1964 and ruled until 1985, after which civilian governance resumed. Brazil's current constitution, formulated in 1988, defines it as a democratic federal republic. 17. The federation is composed of the Union of the Federal District, the 26 states, and the 5,570 municipalities. Brazil's economy is the world's 9th largest by nominal GDP and 7th largest by GDP PPPs of 2016. 1819. A member of the BRICS group, Brazil until 2010 had one of the world's fastest growing major economies, with its economic reforms giving the country new international recognition and influence. 20. Brazil's National Development Bank plays an important role for the country's economic growth. 21. Brazil is a founding member of the United Nations, the G20, BRICS, UNESCO, Mercosur, Organization of American States, Organization of Ibero-American States and the CPLP. Brazil is a regional power in Latin America and a middle power in international affairs, 22 with some analysts identifying it as an emerging global power. 23. One of the world's major breadbaskets, Brazil has been the largest producer of coffee for the last 150 years. Etymology: it is likely that the word Brazil comes from the Portuguese word for Brazilwood, a tree that once grew plentifully along the Brazilian coast. 25. In Portuguese, Brazilwood is called pau-brasil, with the word brasil commonly given the etymology red like an ember, formed from Latin brasa ember and the suffix il formiculum or ilium. 26. As Brazilwood produces a deep red dye, it was highly valued by the European cloth industry and was the earliest commercially exploited product from Brazil. 27. Throughout the 16th century, massive amounts of Brazilwood were harvested by indigenous peoples mostly Tupi along the Brazilian coast, who sold the timber to European traders mostly Portuguese, but also French in return for assorted European consumer goods. 28. The official Portuguese name of the land, in original Portuguese records, was the Land of the Holy Cross Terra da Santa Cruz. 29. But European sailors and merchants commonly called it simply the Land of Brazil Terra do Brasil on account of the Brazilwood trade. 30. The popular appellation eclipsed and eventually supplanted the official Portuguese name. Early sailors sometimes also called it the Land of Parrots Terra de Papaga. 31. In the Guarani language, an official language of Paraguay, Brazil is called Pindorama. This was the name the indigenous population gave to the region, meaning land of the palm trees. History: Pre-Cabraline era. Some of the earliest human remains found in the Americas, Luzia women, were found in the area of Pedro Leopoldo, Minas Gerais, and provide evidence of human habitation going back at least 11,000 years. 3334 The earliest pottery ever found in the Western Hemisphere was excavated in the Amazon basin of Brazil and radiocarbon dated to 8,000 years ago, 6000 BC. The pottery was found near Santarém and provides evidence that the tropical forest region supported a complex prehistoric culture. 35. Around the time of the Portuguese arrival, the territory of current-day Brazil had an estimated indigenous population of 7 million people, 36 mostly semi-nomadic who subsisted on hunting, fishing, gathering, and migrant agriculture. The indigenous population of Brazil comprised several large indigenous ethnic groups, for example the Tupis, Guaranis, Guias and Araucas. The Tupi people were subdivided into the Tupiniquins and Tupinambas, and there were also many subdivisions of the other groups. 37. Before the arrival of the Europeans, the boundaries between these groups and their subgroups were marked by wars that arose from differences in culture, language and moral beliefs. 38. These wars also involved large-scale military actions on land and water, with cannibalistic rituals on prisoners of war. 39. 40. While heredity had some weight, leadership status was more subdued over time, than allocated in succession ceremonies and conventions. 38. Slavery among the Indians had a different meaning than it had for Europeans, since it originated from a diverse socio-economic organization, in which asymmetries were translated into kinship relations.